Hello and welcome to another video. Do you guys remember this video? This was the bed pull-out system video that I made. Well, it was while I was making the micro camper, and then I made a more detailed video of that. That video has probably had, since it was released, it's probably had the most views of probably any of the other videos that I've put on. The engagement, the questions asked from that has been immense. So today I'm bringing you another video that is along the same lines. This one that I'm actually sat on now is a double pull-out bed system. So it will allow you to turn, say, a single seat, which this would be, into a bed. You could even utilise it with a bench style seat and have a double pull-out. Well, what I'm also going to include in this video is we're going to strip this system down. I'm going to show you how to build it through this video. But I'm also going to include all the equipment, the materials used and everything in the description below. I'm going to provide all the links, because that's a lot of the questions that have been asked. Where can I get this from? Where can I get that from? So I'm going to provide it all in the description, because the amount of questions I've just really not had time to answer every single question that's come through. So I'm going to add as much detail as I can into this video. So there's going to be links. We're going to go through it today, strip this down and rebuild it and show you how that's done. I'm also working on creating an ebook, and that is going to include this system. It'll include the other system as well. So hopefully with everything that's provided, you'll be able to make your own double pull-out system or your own single pull-out system. So this is the double pull-out bed system. Very similar setup, as you can see, with the bed slats and the timber frame like the other bed system that I showed you. Firstly, ignore the exteriors. I would have normally done it in something like this, the driftwood, which I've normally done before, but I didn't have enough. So I've just had to use some bits and pieces that I've lying around in the garage. So let me show you how it works first. So you've got this as a seat. Normal daytime, you can have it as a single, you can have it wider to have it as a bench seat if you wanted to pull out that way. But it's like 10 seconds, seriously, to put this together. You've got a hinge panel at the back here. Just pull that forward. You've got a couple of handles at the front, and you've got two pieces at the front that you need to pull through. You pull that through, that drops in, and then you pull that until it hits the second one, and that is it. That's made up. All you've got then is your cushions that will be on the back, where you've got your base, and then two cushions at the back there that will fill in to make up a single bed. And like I say, you can use it as a bench seat, and you can again bring that forward with the extra cushions. But that is it. That's it. It's that simple. You pull it out twice, where it's just once on the other one, and that's it. Your bed is made up. And again, putting this system back, it's really easy. You just pull this back panel up, and that rests back there. You see you've still got storage underneath in your bed. Let me just show you this while it's out. You see you've got a hole there. That's just to get your hands in to pull this out, and another one at the front there. So you literally just lift this up slightly, push it back, lift the two together, push that back, and that's it. It's back to being a seat again. Okay, so I've removed all the bed slats so I can show you this frame properly. If you are unfamiliar with the bed slat system that I've made before, I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can go back and have a look at that one. That'll show you how to measure up, all the measurements that you need and everything else to make your own bed system. This is going to be primarily showing you this double pull-out bed system. So, as you can see, the differences that we've got from the old one to the new one, we have got a third frame. So we've got your one, your two, which are basically identical to the video before, and then it's this extra frame around the outside here that we're going to be looking at. Some of the other things that have changed as well, you'll notice, you can see down there, I've used draw runners on this one. Now you have got the option, I mentioned this on the other video, I've got the draw runners or the ball bearing runners. Again, it basically comes down to cost and how much you want to spend on this. These draw runners are less expensive, but the ball bearing runners do give you that bit more of a quality feel. I think they'll probably last a bit longer as well, but if you are on a budget, you want to keep things down to a minimum, this is another option, a good option to use to make this bed system. So, moving on to the construction of it, let me just remove these first two. There's the outer frame. Right, so as I said before, this frame that we've got now is identical to the one that I've got on the other video. You've got two frames, your outer frame, with the 2 notches in to allow that to come through. Show you that. So you've got the cutout there, which allows for that other frame to go down the inside. Okay, and it's exactly the same with this one. It just slides through. Now then, again, the measurements for using ball bearing runners and the draw runners are very similar. Once you've got a pair together, going on the outside, you're basically taking an inch, 25mm off this frame here. They're more or less identical for the ball bearing runners and the draw runners. So there's not much difference in that sense. It works exactly the same. You're going to screw these to the inside of the outer frame, and then the rest on the inside, and they just, like I said, connect together. It couldn't be easier with that setup. Now you might have noticed there's a gap down here. On the first one, the other there wasn't, and that's again one of the other differences. I've let this rail come through because there is another bed front that goes on that supports it when it comes out to that double pull out. So there's another fascia on there that sits down on the floor, and then there's another fascia on here again for support. So you've got one there and you've got one on the front. So as that pulls out, you've got support throughout that drop down, so it's all supported straight through. Okay, so this is the additional frame that creates this double pull out system. So this is going to be your outer frame of this bed system. This is the one you're going to want to start with. So measurement wise, the seat that you saw this on, the internal measurement of that was 27 inches, and I've made this 26. So that allows you, when that's being hinged up and down, you know that that's not okay. So assuming you centralise this, that's not going to catch the sides. It's also going to let air breathe to anything that you've got in down at the bottom, so everything keeps nice and fresh. So that's what we've got measurement wise. Again, if you want more measurements on the other one, go to the link. That'll tell you how to measure up for your own personal bed slat. So single frame all the way around. We're still using 2x1 and 3x1 timber like the other one. Again, we've got the draw runners instead of the ball bearing runners. Again, works equally as good. Looking at the actual construction of it, you can see the 2x1 at the front, and then at the front here we've got the 3x1. Now you can see the cutout isn't just for the entire for the rail going through, should I say. This is going entirely across. What you can do to make things more rigid, if you wanted to do, you could double up on your side rails like I did on the other video. That will give you a bit more strength, a bit more meat, if you will, and the timber at the front here to strengthen things up. But I'll be honest with you, with the support that it's got underneath, it probably wouldn't need it. So you're coming straight across here, and that's to let the entire rail come forward along with the bed slats and everything else. If you don't do that, you're not going to get that full frame forward, because it's the actual last frame coming out that's got to clear that. Okay, so you need to cut straight across, not just little notches out to let this frame through. So yeah, straight across, and then that allows the whole thing to come across. Okay, let's have a look at this being put together with the individual frames. So we're going to start with the outer frame. As you can see, we've got the cutout straight across, so we're going to put our middle frame in now. Okay, so all we've got to do, slide that straight in. Okay, so you've got, as you can see, one set of draw runners and a second set of draw runners there. You can see now how that will work with that cutout at the back. Let's bring this down, so that obviously that's lower than this top bit, so that's going to allow for that second rail to come across. So the front of this, you can see you've got the single opening, allow for that third rail to go down. So again, your measurement for that back rail there is going to be 1 inch shorter than the measurement between that opening point there and that opening point there. Okay, it's going to be the same for the third one. So again, let's get the third one in. Alright, so there we go. They literally just slide together. Once all this is made up, it's so easy to put together. So yeah, now you can see that all 3 frames are in line there. And again, put that across, just folds itself out. Okay, now from this point we can add the bed slats. You want to add the bed slats once you've got all the frames together. If you do it before, you won't get these to slide in together now. So what we'll do, these are all together now. I'll set the camera up, we'll put the bed slats in, and we'll put it back on the frame, and we'll have another look. Okay, so we have got the bed slats reattached. One thing you want to make sure of when you're doing this, when you're calculating how many bed slats, get an odd number of bed slats. So as you can see, these bed slats are evenly distributed on the back frame and on the front frame, as you can see there. You don't want to bulk up on something in the middle because you'll end up with a big gap on either the front or the back one. So you need an equal amount of an odd number of bed slats on that. Right, okay, so the actual frame itself and the bed slats are all done. Just want to show you quickly how and what you need for your actual existing furniture frame for this. So at the back rail there is exactly the same as the other bed system. It's an L-shape type support frame, and what we've got here, we've got the hinges on, so you can still hinge this up, get underneath there and get to your storage underneath. There's nothing saying you can't put a door on the side or anything like that. You can do what you like depending on your layout, but you can still get access with them hinges on the back with that. So at the minute there's no front supports on. We're going to put them on in a second, but if I just show you, pull this across, okay, and then you've got, obviously you can see a big hole there, and this is where this backboard comes in. You just slide that down and let that drop in. Now as you can see now, there's no supports on the front of these legs, but so obviously it wouldn't support me now if I got in this, but with the support legs it will. You can lie down on that, no problem at all. So let's lift this back up, put this back. Again, it slides so easily in and out. Measurements wise, I'm going to put a cutting list in the description. Again, I'm going to try and do an ebook. I'm not too sure if I'll get around to it, or even if I can do it at the moment, but I'll put the cutting list for this frame so you can make your own. Just a couple of little things to show you. There is a gap at the back there, and that is so this makes up a full 6 foot. So from the back there, this is one thing you'll have to take into account. We're on 2 3/4 or 70 mil to the back of this frame. So this first frame here on the bed slats, we're up to 70 mil to that point. And that allows, when everything's pulled out, to give you the full 6 foot. Okay, like I said, I'll put a cutting list on so you can have a play with that as well. What we'll do now, we'll get the legs on and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so we've got the front supports on now. As you can see, there's a handle there, and there's also one at the back there. So when you're pulling them both forward, you can grab both together. You don't have to pull them through individual. I've just done this as a flat panel. There's nothing stopping you making that into legs like I did on the micro camper. You don't have to have all this at the front. You can change it to how you want, as long as you've got enough support in that. One thing that I've not covered is your cushions. So you are going to need a base, and you're going to need 2 backrests. So looking at this here, if you had a cushion, let's get down there and have a look at that, at 32 inches, okay, say your form is 4 inches thick, you're going to have 2 backrests there. You're going to need a base at 32 for this particular design, and then 2 at 20 inches tall. Okay, that's based on 4-inch thick foam. So once that pulls across, that will give you a full 6 foot in length, cushion wise as well. It's entirely up to yourself how you would do this. Now, if we went to the inside of this frame, we would be looking at 27 inches. Personally myself, I would let that overhang, so we're coming from the edge of that, and we're going to be looking at, I would probably go for about 29 inches, just so you don't catch your leg, back your leg or anything on the edges of that furniture. Okay, so that is basically the setup of the double pull-out bed system. I'm going to try and add as much information as I can for parts, tools, everything else. Like I said, I'm going to try and do an ebook. I don't know if I'll get around to it or not, but I will try, and I'll let you all know if that does come out. Again, I'll put a cutting list in the description, so this particular size you'll be able to replicate yourself for your own vehicle. If you've got any other questions, anything like that, drop them in the comments section below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But many thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye.